Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you something out of my comfort zone. Now, you know that I usually don't talk about Space Marines on this channel. I am allergic to power armor, as I say. But Champions of Fenris released on Grodmus, or during Grodmus, and I let everybody else figure out the Space Marine ones. Now, I'm not here to tell you that it's good. I'm not. So before you get angry, I understand it's not the best thing around. But I am here to provide possibly a different outlook on it, on the fact that I think half of the issue could be what people are trying to make of the detachment, possibly. And I'm here to provide ideas for those of you that are brave enough to try to put this on the table. Now, I don't play Space Wolves. I do not know all the great power combos within Space Wolves, Space Marine Wolves, whatever, okay? I am simply looking through everything, and I had are you kidding me kind of moment. I think this could be a spam list. I think it's a spam list. I know it's hard to believe when you see Terminator units and like there's a lot of focus on Terminator units, but I think I think there's a little funky situation that could happen. I should also say the reason I'm looking at this again is because, well, it does say walkers can benefit from the detachment rule, and you can see the tabs. I usually would have these hidden, but there's a lot of shit under Space Marines, and I would like my computer to keep running, so we aren't doing the way that I usually would do it today. So, Murderfang is a walker, a scary walker. Has a 6-up feel no pain, T9, 2-up save, 8 wounds. Hits people once he gets hit. Each time an enemy unit targets this model, after that unit has finished making its attacks, this model can either shoot as if it was your shooting phase or fight as if it were your fight phase. Excuse me. And I really was like, well, shit. If it's 170 points and something happens into that you can then charge, right? You don't get the charge bonus, you don't get fights first. But if somebody hits Murderfang, you hit them. And then you get your own. If I understand correctly, you still get your own fight within the fight phase if somebody hits Murderfang. And because it's the fight phase, you have to make attacks. So that's just one funny little thing. The other thing is that I already vouched for Bjorn, the fell handed, and I will continue to do so within this detachment. Just makes sense. Less sense than Murderfang, if I'm being honest, but equally as funny. So between those two, that's the walkers covered. Or so I thought. Then I learned about the Invictor Tactical Warsuit. Once per turn, it also has Scouts 8, which is cool. Once per turn in your opponent's shooting phase, when a friendly Adeptus Astartes Phobos infantry unit within 6 inches of this model is selected as the target of an attack, one model from your army with this ability can use it. If it does, after that enemy unit has finished making its attacks, that model can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but when resolving those attacks, it can only target that enemy unit. So, a Walker that has Scout 8, so there's a chance that it gets involved with things sooner and benefits from the Great Wolf watches. But what the fuck has Phobos? Well, I had to do some research on that. A lieutenant in Phobos armor has Phobos armor. While this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have lethal hits. Cool. In your shooting phase, after this model's unit has shot, if it is not within engagement range of any enemy models, it can make a normal move of up to D6 inches. Huh. So it has Scout 6, and it has a reactive move, so it can go up with the Invictor Tactical Warsuit, and then if it gets shot, the Invictor Tactical Warsuit shoots whatever shot at it, and if it shoots, it can scoot, and in your opponent's charge phase, or at the end of it rather, if they are close to either of these motherfuckers, they are then getting charged. Doesn't sound half bad when that goes together, okay? The other thing that has Phobos is a Lieutenant in Reaver armor. Well, this model is leading the unit, lethal hits, but also deadly terror. While this model is leading the unit, increase the range of that unit's terror troops ability by 3 inches. Alright, what the fuck is terror troops? Reaver Squad. While an enemy unit is within 3 inches of one or more units with this ability, subtract 1 from the objective control characteristic of models in that enemy unit. Also has Fearsome Assault. At the start of the fight phase, each enemy unit within engagement range of one or more units with this ability must take a Battle Shock test, subtracting 1 from that test. It also has Scout 6. So, if your opponent went up and maybe tried to make a charge or two, right? Did something cute. Um, they now have to take a Battle Shock test at -1 because we charged into them, right? With the Reaver Squad. But also, while this is around people, they are -1 OC. So that's hint number 1 of some OC shenanigans that you can do. Now, that's a lot of intricate situation for that, right? Do you want the Phobos armor one where you get the scoot, or do you want one into which Terror Troops gets expanded? I would assume you want scoot and still have Terror Troops, but the possibilities are endless. Well, they actually have an end. The possibilities are there for you, right? But then going on to the next thing that I found a little bit interesting that you could do. By the way, Champions of Fenris doesn't have a you can't take this like Champions of Rust does, so that's why you might take this. And if you're going to say, well, why wouldn't I take Gladius? I don't know. That's the conversation for any Space Marine situation. The same way that when I'm making a tyrannage list, you go, why wouldn't you just do Invasion Fleet? And I go, fuck it, I'm trying something new. So, Champions of Fenris is something new. Found out about Wolf Guard pack leaders and Terminator armor. While this model is leading a unit once per battle, when a battle shock test is taken for that unit, you can reroll the test. Can't be Warlord, can't get enhancements. But it has to go on one of the following units. Blood Claws, Grey Hunters, Long Fangs. Why is this important? They are Terminators. And once they attach to whatever, it becomes a Terminator unit. And add 1 OC to the characteristic of models in those units. And you get, well, you can't put them on this one, right? But Terminator unit, Battle Shock test, can still do that. And I don't I don't think this works. But we're just gonna open that up just in case. Yeah, no, okay, so it does not work. Cool. But yeah, you can still take a Battle Shock test. But going back to the fact that it now is a Terminator unit with +1 OC, putting Wolfguard pack leader and Terminator armor with something like Blood Claws means that now you have up to 15 models with 3 OC. That's a lot of fucking OC. Each time this unit makes a charge move until the end of the turn, add 1 to the attacks and strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit. So now you have 15 something models with +1 attacks, +1 strength on melee. Anytime it makes a charge move, which could be at the end of your opponent's charge phase. Now that's a lot of OC on to a point, possibly, that happened at the end of your opponent's charge phase because, hey, they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because how do you avoid 15 plus models going up the board? I'm just saying the problem was how do you make sure that your opponent is not outside of range of 3 inches with this? With Champions of Fenris, the Great Wolf Watches, how do you make sure if I just put one thing there, they just go 3.1? It's by taking up a lot of the board, I guess. I think that's where that was supposed to go. And the Wolfguard pack leader and Terminator armor can attach even if there's a one or more character units. What also can go on Blood Claws? The Judiciar. While this model is leading a unit, that unit has fights first. Each time this model destroys an enemy character model until the end of the battle, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of its Executioner Relic Blade. That's cool and all, but giving 15 models, plus 1 attack, plus 1 strength, fights first at the end of your opponent's charge phase. Yeah, that's cool. And they now have 3 OC each, 2 OC, 2 OC. I think that's the thing. Now, points wise, I don't know how many of squads of this you can do. I mean, if you dedicate to it, fuck it. I guess you could do all. Well, maybe not 3 because well, 3, right? Whatever. Didn't look up points wise to figure this out, but that's I think that's where you're going with this. I think you are filling the board with models, holding OC, maybe a Murder Fang, maybe an Invictor Tactical Warsuit, maybe some Lieutenants in Phobos armor to do all that. I think that's where we're going with this. Oh, also you can get lethal sustained in a way. I forgot which one it was. There we go. Reavers, lethal sustained. I think that's possibly it. And in your opponent's command phase, remember that Terminator unit situation? Each enemy within 6 inches of your unit must take a Battle Shock test, subtracting 1 from the test if that unit is below half strength. Battle Shock test for 6 inches around, 15 plus models. Your opponent might never score primary or do shit if you do this with 1 or 2 squads because they are a Terminator unit. Yeah. So while everybody's trying to figure out, well, why? What am I going to do with Terminators? I don't want to take that many Terminators. I think you take the pack leader, and we'll just open up the battle leader real quick because I forgot what you do while making this. Oh yeah, you're the also other one that can give lethal hits, but you do have to go on Terminators. They can character models can have 4-up feel no pain, which is cool and all. But yeah, you can attach this to Logan Grimnar. And now everybody has lethals. Both of you have a 4-up feel no pain, can drop down and do all the things. Then you can charge, and each time this model, Logan Grimnar, destroys an enemy unit, you gain 1 CP. Cool. That's the thing. Now, the last tab that I had open. Why? Vanguard Vet Squad with jump packs. Each time this unit ends a charge move until the end of the turn, lethal hits. Yep, doing it again. Just saying, any charge move happens, lethal hits. Put it with probably a captain, because a chaplain has devastating, as I've learned recently. Captain, each time that unit ends a charge move until the end of the turn, +1 strength for melee, so +1 strength lethal. And Rites of Battle makes it cheaper. If you want to use sustained lethal uh, plus strength for Prey Taker's Eye or something like that. So, yeah, after looking through everything, I think they want you to spam the board with this. I think that's the direction. I think that's the funky little, oh, I can do this now, out of Champions of Fenris. Now, I would say, I don't know if you want to do that, but I've seen some Wolf Jail lists a couple of times. So, uh, Space Wolves seem to not be a stranger to blocking your opponent in with models. So, that's what I think Champions of Fenris does. Is it worth you doing it? That's up to you. And maybe you have the models and you really want to take the blood claws out for a spin and drop Murder Fang and let Murder Fang keep charging into people and then getting attacks because that's funny. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.